Hi, 4th and 5th grade families and some of our advanced readers. I have chosen Mr. Lincoln's Way, which is in our 4th grade folder, to go through. But as we look at some of the things that we're looking for in our 4th and 5th grade readers, we want to remember that they're reading not only to comprehend and understand and recognize those text features, but they're also looking to read for comprehension to be able to write about it. They're writing about informational text that they read, nonfiction, things like science or things about something, and literature, which is like Mr. Lincoln's Way. So what am I reading and how am I going to pull out key details from that reading to show that I understand? What are the formats of things? Looking at the format of a page, looking at the format of a paragraph, those sentence structures. Those are also things that we can point out to our 4th and 5th grade readers. So as we sample a read along, we can not only look at the title, looking at the picture page, looking at the title page, looking at the author, looking at the illustrator, recognizing who those individuals are. We also want to look at our 3 ways of reading and then the text within those reading. So first we read and we skim, looking through what can I predict about what I'm reading. I have an older gentleman, I have young children. The young children seem happy. There are many children, what might they do? And then we go through and we're skimming. There's a playground, what do we know? Things like that. So we're skimming to kind of understand and predict what might be happening. Towards the end of the book, we have lots of aquatic ducks and birds. So what might that mean? Okay. And then an example of what we're looking for within the text as we do a read aloud. I'm just going to read one of the pages. You might read it to your child first, then they might read it the next night. Maybe you only get through a page or 2. That is perfectly fine. It wasn't a day later when Mr. Lincoln called Eugene into his office. Again, noticing the indent, we have a new paragraph. Eugene slumped into a chair. Mr. Lincoln took a beautiful book out of his desk drawer, a book in blazing color and all about birds. There's an exclamation point, thinking about what that means to the story. He turned to one page and studied the illustration. I've got these little birds all over my tree, and I don't know what they are. Eugene got out of his chair and walked closer. Those are red-capped nuthatches. Weird to see them this time of year. You seem to know your birds, Mr. Lincoln said with a warm smile. I do. When I lived on my grandpa's farm, he had tons of birds around. Chicken, thrashers, meadowlarks. We raised carrier pigeons together. You've got quite a grandpa, Mr. Lincoln said, but Eugene just turned his back on Mr. Lincoln and left the room. So looking at those text features, thinking about the things that they want to pick out. What did we find? What do we know? We know that Eugene likes birds. Why does he like birds? What got him excited? Now, how is he feeling? How do we know? Things, noticing that he turned his back. What does that say? Those are key details that a student could take out and write about if someone were to ask them how Eugene was feeling or what Eugene liked, or the steps that Mr. Lincoln took to get to know Eugene. He brought him to his office. He opened a book he knew he'd like. How do we know those? Where exactly does it say it in the text? Picking out that exact text and recognizing it from the text features is really important for our readers who are not only reading to comprehend, but to reading to pick out key details that they can then write down in paragraph form that they can recognize through the structure of books, essays, paragraphs, and things like that. Thank you so very much.